I am contemplating doing soft spoken because the last 2 days I've been reading comments requesting soft spoken, but I always get the comment, I wish it was whispered. So, anyways, today I'm in front of the camera. You can look at how many times I roll my eyes, and we're gonna cover something you requested and one of my favorite series, if I'm being 100% honest. You know, I love the outdoors. I love national parks, national forest. I love camping and hiking, and I live in the middle of nowhere, in the woods, so you get the idea. But I also love to cover these cases to spread the word about some that are still missing and their loved ones are still waiting for them to come back home. So today we're going to talk about the disappearance of Eric Lewis. This is somewhat recent. It was back in 2010. Now I sound like my mother. 2010 was 13 years ago. I know. You don't have to tell me. Kids born in that year, they're probably in middle school by now. You don't have to remind me. I'm gonna have to put my hair down because my hair grows so much that my grays, like my baby hairs, are crazy. That's ridiculous, but okay, so I know how old I sound saying that it was recent. I get it. But before I start with today's case, I want to let you know there is a new true crime video. Well, I'm lying. It's a recap and a little bit of my own story mixed with a new documentary of Casey Anthony. It's over on Patreon. So if you want to check that out, I'd love for you to watch it and share your opinion with me. I also, if you are new around here, would love for you to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, so you're notified when there's a new video. And if you don't mind, before you fall asleep, leave a comment, anything you want to say, hello, an emoji, sad, happy, excited. I've gotten some poop emojis too, so that's okay. By sharing something with me, it helps the algorithm and you're helping my channel for free. So thank you. Now, Eric Lewis was 57 years old on July 1st, 2010, which for us in the northern hemisphere is the middle of summer. And he was from Duval, Washington. Probably butchered that. And he actually went missing while mountain climbing on Mount Rainier. If you've never heard of Mount Rainier, where have you been? Hello, my name is Letty, and you need to Google Mount Rainier. I think it's one of those places that should be in everyone's bucket list, no matter how much you hate nature. But I don't know if I would go climbing, if I'm being honest. But it's a very well known spot for that. The climbing companions were left to pull up a coil by a butterfly knot after he had unclipped from the rope and disappeared. Now, if there's like a weird vanishing case, think about while you're rock climbing. I mean, after him disappearing from his friends or other people that were with him, the search ended only when his pack was found in a snow cave after he disappeared. However, his body remains missing even now. Is it possible that Eric was spooked or killed by someone or something? Or was it that his gear just failed? So far, no one has been able to fully explain just what happened that day. Now, let me explain a little bit more, because up until this point, it seems like a very weird vanishing situation. Like, where was he specifically? Did they hear that he fell? Maybe unclick something, clicking? What happened? Well, let me go in depth, but that's kind of the main idea or how this happened. But we need details, right? Well, again, if you didn't know, Mount Rainier is, I always pronounce it funny. Pronounce it. Funny. It's my ESL brain, so forgive me for that. Now, it is located in Washington. It's 14,411 feet or 4,392 meters tall, and is about 59 miles or 95 kilometers from Seattle and northeast of Portland, Oregon. Some people know it as Tahoma Peak or Tacoma Peak, so maybe you heard about those. If, again, you didn't know, it's an active, and I'm gonna butcher this, stratovolcano in the Cascade Range in the Pacific Northwest. It is the highest mountain in Washington and the Cascade Range. It is very likely that this will erupt in the near future, and it's considered one of the world's most dangerous volcanoes. Now you got me, you know why I kind of want to go. As the first access route to the summit, Gibraltar ledges were used. Again, probably butcher that. I know what they are. Hazard Stevens and Philemon Beecher Von Trump successfully climbed this route in 1870. And nowadays, this turned into your standard route on the mountain for winter climbing. This is the same route that Eric and his companions were climbing that day in 2010. The three friends were ascending the Gibraltar Ledges route on Mount Rainier in high winds and low visibility. And Eric kind of got separated from his two climbing companions. And there was this guy who was on the lead, Don Storm Jr., and he paused eventually and joined Trevor Lane, the second climber, on the rope. Remember, we're on a rope here. The rope had only a coil and a butterfly knot when they pull it in at 13,900 feet as they were waiting for Eric's arrival. The man had glimpsed him on the rope just moments before and searched the slope below them immediately. To make sure Eric had not skirted around them during the search below, the group headed to the summit ridge after thoroughly searching the area beneath. Upon not finding him at the summit ridge, they returned to Camp Muir, M-U-I-R, don't know how to pronounce that, the high camp for climbers at 10,200 feet. And they notified the rangers about their friend vanishing. A search was immediately organized. A Chinook helicopter flew above the areas where Eric might have ended up. A team of climbers searched those areas too. Later in the day, Tom Payne and two mountain guides searched for him at the summit. In the end, more than 40 people participated in the search the next day. Mountaineering guides from different companies were all volunteering and conducted different searches. The search from the air was conducted by a military expert. Eric's backpack, climbing harness, and snow shovel were eventually found at 13,600 feet, as well as a small snow cave at 13,800 feet. But in this case, the ground was covered in snow, so it should have been easier to find Eric's footprints. But there weren't any, besides those of his friends. There were no indication that he strayed from the group. The searchers found his climbing gear in an ice cave 200 feet below where he disappeared. Eric Lewis was never located, despite this extensive search. And questions remain to this day. What could have prompted him to cut himself from the rope? After sheltering in the ice cave, did he suffer from hypothermia and become confused and disoriented? Did something or someone scare him into cutting his rope out of pure fear? Was he trying to commit suicide? Sadly, we will probably never know the truth. I think these unsolved mysteries sometimes take a mystical or maybe supernatural approach, if you ask me. A lot of people believe that it is likely that there's something out there taking people from national parks. I've heard Bigfoot, I've heard aliens, but if I had to guess, there's nothing more evil, at least some people, than humans. It could be his own demons inside of him that made him cut the rope and commit suicide. Or maybe it was one of his friends. I'd like to believe that if they planned this, that they would have been investigated to see if there was any kind of gain from this death or vanishing of the friend. But this is one of those cases where I highly suspect some kind of foul play among humans. I just refuse to believe that we are climbing a mountain, we're sharing ropes, we just have, they had basic gear, and all of a sudden, one of us disappears and the other two are left wondering what happened. Clearly, it wasn't something very evident, like he cut it, somebody cut it. There would have been some kind of evidence if it was cut from above, from below. Could the person above cut the rope at that specific spot? I think sometimes I'd rather believe that there's something supernatural happening, but not really believe that a friend can do this to another friend, or a human being can do this to another human being. It is so sad, so sad to, share these cases where they make absolute no sense. No matter if you know how to rock climb or mountain climb or not, there's no way that somebody just cut themselves loose, and it takes you 200 feet to realize that he's not there anymore, as the evidence is pointing to. All I'm gonna say is I love nature, but I'm not going rock climbing ever. I remember this one time, I think it was, what's the big national park in Northern California? Yosemite. A bunch of kids, like in their teens, maybe 18, early 20s, they were rock climbing, and they would put this little, I don't know what they're called. They're like little cushions that they put behind them just in case they fall. Like, you cannot pay me enough to make me do that, try to do that. It's like, no, ma'am, thanks, but no. So, despite my ignorance in climbing, this makes no sense. And it sounds like some kind of human was behind it. So anyway, thank you so much for being here today. It's kind of cold here in the Pacific Northwest in the evening, so I'm gonna turn on another heater by me. I didn't want to turn on whilst I was doing this video, but you can probably hear the flame in the background from the other one. Let me know what you think, and if you know about rock climbing, what you think that could have happened, and if there's a way that you think it's possible that the two people that are going ahead don't notice when somebody behind them or underneath, below, cuts themselves. Let me know if you do know about that, because it makes no sense. But thank you for requesting more videos on this series. I enjoy it. This is my thing. And I hope you enjoy them too. Next video will be whispered. So for those of you that missed the whisper, it's coming back. Thanks for watching.